LakelandCarKeys.com. I'm currently sitting in a 2014 Dodge Dart. Customer has one working Fobik key. Oh well, the Fobik key starts the car, but the buttons are starting to wear out. So the trunk still works, the panic works, but the lock and unlock does not. This is very common on the Fobiks. We replace a lot of these because the buttons will randomly start going off because the little pad inside starts moving around and pressing the buttons on its own. So if you have one of these style Dodge keys and your car's randomly going off, it might be locking and unlocking the doors or just randomly popping the trunk. That's the little pop buttons underneath. They're moving and they're actually creating contact and setting off your car. So we usually just replace those. You could try cleaning it up and putting them back in position, but they never really stay, so we just replace them. Today I'm going to use my Xhorse, and this is the Key 2 Max Pro. It is connected by cable down to the DLC connector. So let me go ahead and get this on. I'm going to stick my new key, stick it into the ignition. It says key in ignition. Now you gotta be real careful with the Dodge Darts because they have their own Fobik keys. It's not like, the 300s, Challengers, Chargers, and there's a whole group of vehicles that use the same Fobik key, but the Darts do have their own Fobik just for the Darts. So you want to make sure you're using the correct Fobik, and usually if you have the wrong key, it would say wrong key up here. We can see our immobilizer light right here blinking. That lets us know this key is not currently programmed to the car, and I've never gone through this process with an Xhorse before, so hopefully we have no issues pulling the pin and doing the programming. So on the device, I'm going to, screensaver went off. I'm going to emo programming, scroll all the way up, hit agree, and then we're going to go ahead and select Dodge. So we got Dodge, and then I can select by area, which will let me select models afterwards. So we're going to select North America. Alright, and then this will give me all the models, so I can go ahead and select Dart, and the only option is from 2012 to 2016. Alright, so the two options ask keyless go. Keyless go would be a push to start smart key, and toothless rotary key. That is what that is. There's no teeth on it, but you stick it in and turn. Alright, so select toothless rotary, and we're going to hit programming. Alright, so first thing we want to do is try to read password. So that will give us our 4-digit PIN, and almost instantly. Alright, 4621 is our PIN, and then we're going to go into key programming because we're not erasing anything. We're just going to go into programming mode, so it tells us to turn the ignition off and turn on the double flashing, which is the hazard light. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off. Turn on my hazards. That keeps the BCM awake for reading and writing. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Insert the key to be programmed. Make sure ignition switch is off. Alright, it already pulled up the password that we just read, the PIN number. Click OK. And we got a failed error. So not sure what that is. I'm just going to double check, make sure. Alright, immobilizer light doesn't seem to be on, but it actually did program. Look at that. So remember before we had the little red flashing immobilizer light? See, we don't have that anymore, and it programs. So those are the little things to pay attention to when you're programming cars. Sometimes, especially I know like with the Fords, it'll say it failed, but it didn't actually fail. So if you're having problems and you're doing something and the key fails automatically, programming it fails, just double check the key, make sure it didn't actually program. So I'm gonna go ahead and shut this off. and then we got to check the battery. I didn't pre-check the battery, but usually I pre-check the battery under one of these remotes and make sure they're going. They're pretty good, but I'll put a fresh new battery in that. But our transponder is programmed, and we know it's successful, and the transponder and remote functions all programmed in one. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take both of these keys. We will run back to the vehicle. I'll start the blade cutting, and then I could pop a new battery in this one. Alright, so I got a new Duracell 2032 battery. I got it in the remote, and all our remote functions work. I can double click, pop the trunk, and so this is good to go. We're just going to go ahead and cut this blade now. Alright, so we got the original blade in our Xhorse Dolphin key cutting machine. So it works as like a little CNC machine. So take the probe and press along the key to see where everything's lined up. And right now it's hitting each cut in the key, and it'll give us a certain depth. And then we can search that and find a valid key code. And once we see a valid key code, we know our key was decoded successfully, and we can go ahead and cut our new key. Alright, so we went ahead and we did get our valid key code, so I'm going to go ahead and cut the new blade based off of that key code. That way, you know, if the customer did have a key that was a little bit worn out, we're not copying a worn out key. So if we do a blade-to-blade copy, whatever is worn out, we will go ahead and just copy that worn out part. But searching for a good known key code and cutting by that key code cuts the key exactly as it should be. Alright, so here we are. We're gonna go ahead and cut the new blade. And usually it'll do at least 2 passes on the same side, and then cut the opposite side of the blade. And on these particular keys, it is the same cut on each side. So no matter which way you put the key into the lock, it will work. Alright, so we got our blade fully cut, and what we'll do is we'll check. So right goes lock, it locked successfully, and then we go to the left and unlock it. So our blade cut was good, and we are done. So I'll wrap up here. It's actually starting to rain. So this is just another one I want to show y'all. 2014 Dodge Dot, and this is a remote Fobik key. Alright, thanks for watching. LakelandCarKeys.com.